Okay, so sketchbook, maybe a few contours before you get started. These were done a long time ago. This was done in August 18th when I was teaching cup and brush. So basically, I did some contours, played with it. I was really interested in the brush. You can see the books, but it's not really clear. This one came out a little better. This was a blind contour as well. And then I went in and started playing with it because I do love to mess with the negative spaces and the positive spaces of the of contours. And then let's see, other things that we do in here. Let's see, I've got a painting I did, which was fun. And then we're jumping on over here to what we're going to be doing. We have cylinder project, which is basically you're going to take these flat objects. If you had Art 1 with me, I also made you to do it then. But now I'm going to push you a little harder to get that chiaroscuro and really show it. Also, you're going to have to draw them larger. So as you can see, this is the size that they are here. There are 15 of them. So there's a Coca-Cola can, a vase, a bottle, a magician's hat, a nail. They're all labeled. This is a stack of coins. A lamp, a section of pipe, this one's tough, a flexible straw, and a candle, crayon, kind of fun. So they're interesting shapes and stuff, so we're going to be, and basically they're in a shape form. They're basically flat. There is no three-dimensional quality to these, other than we can see some lines or make us believe, like on this right here, we can see that is something coming off because of that curve. Okay, now we're going to have to take it to the point where it is three-dimensional looking. So I started playing, and before we got started, this is my paper towel hold roll, and again it's a white roll of paper towel, so I was trying not to overpower it with the pencil. So I did a lot more work with my actual blending stub, this tortillon here. I used it more than I did my pencil, really, other than laying down some lines. I also want to see a surface that things are sitting on. Now, that doesn't mean that the light is always have to go one way. So, like for me, I had the light going this way for the paper towel holder. For the dog bowl, oh, I forgot spot on it. I forgot to write spot. So, for Spot's bowl, I basically had the light coming this way. And then for this cup, which I have not completed, this is an incomplete sketch right here. There is a background line showing a place for it's sitting. There is a slight cast shadow shown. There are some shadows on the cup. I am showing how light is hitting the outside edge here, casting a shadow on the inside of the cup, and then the inside of the cup over here is being hit with light, and then shadow on this side. But I have not actually refined this design. So these two are refined, and this one not finished. All right, let's get down here. And then I started playing with a nail, which looks more like a tack, I think. But I was trying to play with how would the tack work. Well, here it is drawn straight across, and I was kind of challenging myself, and I thought, well, what would happen if it was actually sitting on the surface? And so I had to get, how far out would it go? And I gave myself a surface line. And that's how I got this point. And then I went ahead and drew a line back there and kind of gave myself a place to be. And then I started playing with it, but this does not look like a nail. So, or at least not that, I'm not real happy with it. But it's close enough that I think it's going to work, and you guys get the message. So this would be considered fairly finished because I did have my cast shadow. I have my shadows here. I have a highlighted area. And so this is where I'm going. I don't think you can get 15 of these. I know you can't get 15 of these on this piece of paper without kind of crowding each other, which is doable. But again, I'm looking for that measurement right there. That paper towel roll is 2 inches. That bowl, dog bowl, is 2 inches. This cup is 1 3/4 inches. This nail is over 2 inches, or right at it. So in other words, you can't draw them this size. You must take them larger. I also want you to add a value scale to your actual drawing. So I'm looking for a value scale. I want it labeled, and then I want you to take and actually put down the 4 values. So there's 1 and 2, 3, and I can use the blending stub. There would be 1. Oh boy, I got it a little dark. See what happens? Alright, when you pull that blending stub out, man, good things can happen. Or it makes it harder. So what I'm going to have to do is go back in with my eraser. Now you remember we have kneaded erasers. Those are pretty handy. You've got your old white eraser. Mine's pretty grungy looking. I'm going to turn it around because that's the nice thing about these is you can turn them around, and you can also be careful, but you can actually cut them and give yourself a wedge to work with. So I could take this little wedge of the white one and take out some value right there on my second one. But as soon as I do that, I'm going to need to take more out of this one, and it just keeps going. But I need to get 4 values. Let's see. I'm trying to keep my hand out of it. I never had a blending stub, but they're pretty sweet little tools. Putting that down there. 2. Going a little heavier. And then the last one. I think that one's going to work. Alright, not bad. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 values. And 0 being white. So I'm going to expect, you see how I have the 4th value up here in the actual roll inside of the roll because the roll itself is white, but you could also think about the fact that this is sitting on the ground, so you could put a little bit of a line right at the base here where it's shadowing, so that's okay. That would be my 4, 3, 2, and 1 are all in here. 4, 3, 2, 1 are here, and this one is incomplete. We talked about it. And then this one needs a little love, but I'm fairly happy with it. All right, so one more. We're going to play with the idea, and this is where we get into other shapes. I'm going to look at that vase right there. Okay, so we have learned about ellipses. And that is a vase, so it's probably a cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself an ellipse. Remember, I don't want it too sharp. I don't want it too flat. So I'm going to give myself a nice ellipse. Fairly happy with that one. And then I'm going to take these edges or go down, so I'm going to try to duplicate that. Okay. Now, see where this one's curved? Some of the things I noticed that a lot of you were drawing is you would curve this part, but you forget about this part. This is also going around that object. So that line right there would be curved, and so would this one. So another curved one. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to work on the outside shape. It comes out way out. Wow, okay, here's where you need some tracing paper, right? I love handy dandy tracing paper. And this right here should have a curve as well. Alright, so, and then I've got this line. This line, again, these must curve because they're going around that. So when you get to the crayon, don't forget that this curves around. When you get to the piping, all of these are going to curve. When you do The bottle. These are all going to curve. Straw. Okay. Look, all of a sudden I had some tracing paper. Thanks, assistant. All right, here we go. I'm going to trace what I like, and I'm going to totally flip it and get rid of what I don't. This is actually family trying to get a hold of me because I won't answer the phone. All right, so I traced it, the one I like. I'm going to flip it, place it right there. I'm going to trace again, and because I put the graphite on the back side there, on top side, and then when I flip it, now the graphite is down, it basically will transfer the line, and now I have a duplicate, and that's just helpful. And that is a tool, not a cheat. It's called a tool. We use them. It's just like using this ruler right here. Get a straight line. I can't draw one, but I can certainly use a ruler to get one. Okay, now I could play with this a little more. It could use some love. There are things that I don't particularly like about it, but again, you're just going to lay down and start drawing this thing and put it down and decide which way your light source is. Draw them larger. Don't try to get them all on one page. It's probably not going to happen. There are 15 of them. I'd rather you go big and draw. And I do not like some of the things that are happening here. Wow. What did I do? Let me check. What's this? And see, this tracing paper is handy for this too. You can find out what it is that's bugging you. Let me find out, like, what happened here. Flip. Okay, I see it. And again, I'm just going to tweak that a little bit. And that's what I like about the extra. And there's nothing wrong with extra lines. And I'm going to play with it. And then I'm going to finish this drawing. And you guys are going to do the same thing. We're going to play, and we're going to have a good time, and you're going to get me 15 of these cylinders drawn from these flat to these three-dimensional using Chiaroscuro, using a value scale that must be shown on your paper. Don't forget to sign and date. It is the 22nd today, still. 2020. It is 9 still. All right, we're good. There it is. Done. Y'all have a good one. Have fun.